Good morning, good morning, good morning. We jump into this morning, as per usual, let's drop in to the feelings of gratitude, love, joy, and appreciation. Let's just take a minute, take the breath. A lot of us get up really, really early to get a good start on the day. And now here's a moment we get to kind of transition back into looking at the gain instead of the gap, looking at what we are and what we've accomplished, what really dropped us into feelings of love, appreciation, and gratitude. We had a lot to be grateful for. Thanksgiving. Who here had a fantastic Thanksgiving celebration? And who here had, anybody have some family drama they want to just release, let go of? That's awesome. Toby, are you on a walk this morning? Oh, we can't hear you, bud. That's weird. Okay. It's
I am disrupting.
Oh, there you go. Go ahead.
Yeah. I am walking. Is it disruptive?
A little bit.
All right.
I just saw the Golden Gate Great Bridge behind you, so I figured you're just walking alongside the mountain there overlooking.
No, it's a backdrop. That's all.
I got you.
I'm actually in Burlington, Massachusetts. Nope, just my home.
Can you share a little bit, Toby, as to your huge accomplishment that you shared with me a little bit? You dropped into the group?
Sure. And you can hear me okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So going back, coming out of 2008, boy, we're going to go for it, huh? Okay. Coming out of 2008, when, I think all of us, or at least I was struggling out of the rebound of the real estate market, I had heard someplace to do this visualization. It was to donate, if the visualization was if you had $1 million to donate, who would you donate it to? And the second part of the visualization is how much would you need to create to donate that 1 million, and then by when? So I committed to donate $1 million by age 65 to homeless women and children. And I completed that by 55, just past June. So, and Harrison will know this, I also closed a deal that exponentially replaced that donation, unrelated, completely coincidental, right? We know the way the universe works. I closed the deal just a couple months later that replaced that, at least on the balance sheet and the income. So, yeah, is that a coincidence?
Do you think it's a coincidence?
No, not at all. And the other part of it, since I feel I just be really transparent. So to be a women's shelter in Waltham, Mass, run by Middlesex Human Services, and what some of you may or may not know is I'm 31 years sober. My last detox was at Middlesex Hospital, which was a big, giant state facility. I found out a week before we finally made the donation that Middlesex Human Services started as a subcontractor in Middlesex Hospital, so they actually ran my last detox, and I didn't know that at all. Why would I think a state hospital would subcontract clinical services to this I mean, it's like Middlesex Pizza, it's like Middlesex Roofing, everything's Middlesex. So I had no idea until the very end, after I made the decision that it was in fact the same charity I'm making the donation to that ran my last detox. A coincidence.
Wow, Toby. Wow. And the versions of you, right, that you had to go through from 2008 until last year to become that person, like right. Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable achievement, dude. Wow.
Well, for all those real estate investors, I did it out of self. I mean, I had been successful and then went broke out of the recession. It started as really selfish. Someone said, well, if you do this visualization, yeah, you're going to have to give up $1 million, but it's just a God tax. You get to keep the rest. So, and I won't tell you it started as altruistic, but as I got more connected with that vision, it just fell together.
Yeah. And with the huge conduit now, so just to kind of, for everybody listening, right? So Toby has his vision. He finally gives his $1 million in charity. And because he opened his conduit, right, where he no longer looked at it from a place of fear or scarcity. He's like, this was my vision. This was my goal. Here it goes. He gifts it. And immediately it comes back to him in this energetic return, right? Because that's all we are. We're not here to like hold on to any sort of money. We're not here to hold it because that's our fear talking to us. He built his conduit to a huge pipeline. So it goes in and it comes out, and it goes in and it comes out. And this is what the whole point of like rich full abundance, cash flow being one of the many abundances that we have. What an awesome story, Toby. Like, I can't wait to have you on the podcast to hear like the intricacies, the details. I'm sure there was different ups and downs over the past, 15 years. Wow. So thank you for
My
sharing that. Yeah.
it's I think it's part of my job. I believe putting the ego aside, it's a job to spread some hope for someone who A, maybe they're struggling with alcoholism or addiction, or B, they're struggling with abundance, or C, they actually have the money and they just haven't donated at that capacity.
Yeah.
Any of the above.
Yeah. Let's shout that message from the rooftops, Toby.
Good
Yeah.
for you,
Thank you.
Toby. I tell everyone to donate money, and we've got these guys with 50 million bucks. No one ever does it. Everyone worries about taxes. And I say you can always give it to charity. You don't need the money, and no one does it. You're like the one person, like out of hundreds of people I talk to, you're like the guy that did it. So congrats.
And the deal that I closed only a couple months later that tripled that donation, cash, equity, the whole thing.
Oh yeah, things work
Yeah.
in mysterious ways.
I know. I know.
Energetically. Unbelievable, you guys. So cool. What a great story. I love that. I had a visualization. A lot of you know this already in 2005, but mine was way more selfish, right? It was contemporary house, wife, with the color of her hair, two boys running around, contemporary stairs, lake, pond in the back. Totally, totally, totally selfish, which is what I was taught to do. And it was literally the craziest thing is I didn't even like look around me, right? And we finally bought this dream house 4 years ago, but it wasn't my dream house because I was still so in my shit. To finally, a year in, look around being like, oh my God. And we had one of those real estate investor reboot weekend seminars where I actually found my vision to go in and read it to everybody. And I just broke down crying in front of the whole group because I had no idea. I had no idea how alike it had become. That's crazy. So powerful, powerful exercise for all of you creators here on this call. Every single one of you is creating your own life, whether you think you are or you're not. Every single word you chant, every thought that leads to an emotion, every emotion generates a new vibration, a new frequency. You are creating your circumstances, your life. And when you start to really own that, it's magical what can shift and change. And for a lot of us, just owning that is unlearning so much of the stuff that we have been taught, right? From our childhood, teenage years, what's important, what success looks like, what identity is. And now we get to choose. Now that we're aware of these, we're the observer, we get to choose all that. What an awesome, awesome, awesome story. Anybody else want to share? What's something? Oh, reminder, when you have that love, gratitude, joy, appreciation, make sure we make it real as creators. Type it into the chat or write it into your journal, whatever you have there, but make it real. Make it real. And then if you want to voice it, we'd love to hear it. As a week of the Thanksgiving portal, the gratitude portal, it never closes. We just had a lot more of it this past week with lots of abundance, at least here in the United States. Anybody else want to share anything that happened this week or weekend? We have a lot of not ready for Zoom faces this morning. Except you and me, Toby. We're the most beautiful people here. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I guess I can share something. I don't even know how valid it is, but I rented out a property to somebody that wasn't ready, and I made a big mistake on doing this, and it was because I was doing too many projects and I lost a partner on rent. So I rented out the apartment to Section 8, and it had subfloors that were painted gray, right? And it sort of looked nice, but very quickly, the dirt got in there, it started splintering and everything like that. And originally I said to her, you're getting a discount on the rent because of that. And she endured, like the main stack cracked, and there was, drainage water, for lack of a better term, inside the house and everything. So I wound up being, just really nice. And so we finished the luxury vinyl plank in the house. My contractors actually moved the furniture and everything for her. And I told her too, because of, she was dealing all with this, crazy construction due to the pipe bursting, that, she picked out the LVP color, and she gets to I'm paying for her to pick out a color for the entire interior of the house and painting it for her. So that's like kind of sort of a nice gesture. I'm losing money on it, but it's just making a tenant happy, and I just think generally it's the right thing to do. And she endured a lot of inconvenience with having that pipe burst, and she was really good about everything. So I guess that's a good thing.
Being a good person over the absolute bottom dollar, Damien. Yes. Very good.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I like that. Good relations. Awesome. Beautiful. All right, everyone, let's drop in. Gratitude, love, appreciation, and let's move into alignment. Let's move into some alignment today. What's one way that you can love yourself more today? What's your soul calling you to do? Anyone has anything this week too, if you want to just jump in and share, we'd love to hear it. If your soul's been yelling at you, it's whispering / yelling at you to do something or to stop doing something, to rest or to perform, to walk. If and then once we love ourselves in a deeper way, whatever that thing is that you're called to do, who else do you choose to show up for today in a meaningful way? Who's someone you can send a loving message to? Who's someone that maybe you had someone in your world that has trespassed against you or made you feel a certain way, whether they know about it or not? You don't even have to necessarily reach out to them directly. What if you just wrote them a letter and never sent it? What if you write a letter of expressing your emotion, and then at the very last part of it, if you're ready, you can even forgive? These are all little pieces of our freedoms, little pieces of us that we can reclaim back into our power now that we're human, now that we understand what happens as we move through life. Little bits and pieces of our energy fleck off when we have rough moments, when we have moments moments of trauma, we have moments where we are deeply hurt and we're not really sure how to handle it. So pieces of us kind of stay behind, and we get to call them back once we finally accept, feel the feelings, and then move through that place. And sometimes we have to forgive others. Most of the time we have to forgive ourselves. Yeah. Since I'll be a one-man show today, unless anybody want to jump in. But I'm reading this amazing book, which a lot of it is stuff we already know, but it's just hearing it out loud on Audible. It's called The Four Agreements. And the first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. It doesn't mean what you think it means. I used to make that mean, which is true, right? Do what you say you're going to do. That was what integrity was to me. Right? Do what you say you're going to do. And the first person you're out of integrity with is yourself, right? So I'm going to wake up at 6:30 in the morning. The moment you don't wake up at 6:30 in the morning, you're out of integrity with yourself. You move through the day out of integrity. And that's okay. We forgive ourselves for that. But the point is, how do we move back into integrity? How do we forgive ourselves and reclaim some of that power? This book changes the game on being impeccable with your word. It's not just integrity, right? And this is just the first agreement. What he suggests is that being impeccable with your word means that every single utterance that you make in your life, it's either an incantation, it's either a blessing, or it's a curse. Every single thing that comes out of your mouth, because you are a creator, right? The universe will hear it. The universe will take the order. There's no judgment from the universe. The universe doesn't say that's either good or that's bad. No. If you say, right, well, I'm in a really shitty situation, I don't see a way out of it, so therefore I'm not going to get out of it, right? Okay. They will make arrangements for that to happen. I've always had shitty things happen. The moment I get to a certain level in my business or my career or my relationship, something else happens, and right, it'll all blow up. Okay, universe hears that. Order's taken. What about the other things that we talk about, right? Being just a divine creator and shifting and changing your world for the better every single day. A great mantra that one of my friends, Peggy, keeps saying now is, I wonder how much better this can get. I wonder how much better this can get. And it's so super, super cool. So being impeccable with your word, it was just one thing that really hit me. Like, how many times, even now, does that little voice in our head get activated? And even though now I know that's not our voice, right now I know that's just the mind, the monkey mind kind of doing its thing, rattling on, keeping us safe, achieving, whatever it might be. But how often do I still let it take front stage? Like, when is this gonna go bad? When is this gonna go bad? When is this gonna not work the way I think it's gonna work? Don't get attached to that because you know it's gonna be gone soon, right? Or whatever this says. And now I just get to remind myself with powerful, powerful words, which I now consider incantations, blessings, or even ceremonial. Right? And that's why we do our little rampage at the end of every one of these little talks. And I like to start saying, I wonder how much better this can get. How much abundance and rich joy and gratitude and peace can we have today? Can we hold today? Let's hold even more. Let's bring in more from all other places in this universe. Let's call in pieces of ourselves from our childhood or from past lives that are coming in to reclaim our power now. Let's bring back playfulness. Let's bring back joy. And let's create what we want to create. Like, these are all really, really cool, powerful incantations that any of us can say. So that came to me today. And you know what else is that, right? They call them affirmations or mantras or whatever you want to call it. Whose voice is the most powerful voice in your world? Who's the one voice that you will know instantaneously? For some of you, it's your own. So one exercise could be recording yourself, right? If you need help, you can write these out yourself. If you want some help from ChatGPT, if you'd like some help from here, right? Like, have affirmations that relate to you in your life. And either you record yourself saying them back to you, put a music underlayment over it, right? Listen to this every morning. This is powerful. But you know what, for some is even more powerful? For some, we are still our own worst enemy. Now I'm taking that back. That's an example I'm using. So I'm taking that curse back. But for some of you, if you don't like your own voice, if that's not appealing to you to hear yourself say these positive, uplifting, beautiful blessings to yourself, there's some cool AI tools now where you can get a clone of someone else's voice. And I'm still learning about this, but getting a clone of your child's voice, putting those affirmations into ChatGPT, into this AI tool with your child's voice, and have your child be telling you this, like when you're going to bed at night or when you're waking up in the morning. Holy cow, how powerful is that? I just had a moment this weekend because I was doing some affirmations with my son and making him repeat them back to me, which he didn't like to do, of course. But hearing his voice say the same thing that I've been saying to myself for a really long time, wow. I got pretty emotional. I didn't even know why. It was really powerful hearing him say the same things I've been saying to myself now for the last year and a half. Try something like that. Yeah. Anybody have any experience with curses, blessings, like things you've said in your life? I know Toby has. Things that you've said that you're going to do and that have actually worked out, right? Blessings or curses for that matter. Things that you said were going to happen and then they ended up happening, right? Anybody want to share any? Okay. Yeah. All right.
Can I share, Nick?
Oh my God, I'd love that. Who is that? I can't see who that is.
Veronica. I'm not ready to share my face.
Thank you for sharing your voice, darling. Please.
Okay. When I was in high school, I had a book that I put together of all these different things, and the last page was like, what do you want your future to look like? And I put all of these pictures, cut out from magazines and put it out just like a vision board, right? And I tell you, almost everything on that page came true. Almost everything. And then I went to see somebody about it. I was like going, wow, I fulfilled everything. Like, what do I do now? And she's like, create a new story, create another vision board. Because
How
I
did
had
that feel for
fulfilled every
you?
item. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, wait. What was the coolest thing on that first board that you got that came to you for you?
I got a cool job working for the government where I traveled around the United States and I got to wear suits and I got to go to different cities. And it was like I had
Yes.
like a skyscraper and I had a woman wearing a suit.
Yes. I love it. What was the newest thing on your new vision board that you did to create your new world?
Oh, I kind of messed up on my new vision board because I
You
created
can't
it
mess
and
up
then
a vision board.
okay, well, yeah, you can. So I created it because I said I want to own like a washateria, a car wash, not a car wash. We call it washateria in Louisiana. Um, and I got an opportunity to invest in one in Boston, and only like 20,000 was the minimum you could put down, and I didn't do it.
Oh, you didn't
So
do it.
I didn't do it, but that's what I'm saying. I messed up. I had it on the vision board. It came very quickly. But then I said no.
That means there's another one for you. There's a better one for you, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Veronica, thank you. For anyone sharing visions, like if you guys post those into the chat, the WhatsApp chat, I mean, we'd love to see it. I can even do some of my weird incantations over it to try to help bring those to you. Here's the beautiful part, though, too, just to share, because what Toby's going to share in our podcast, whether he knows it or not, thank you for doing that, Toby. Like the versions, we always think it's going to come in a certain way. That's the ego, that's the mind, right? We put it in our vision. We truly feel the emotions, whether we type it or we write it into a journal or we do our visual vision boards, right? We put the pictures everywhere, which gives us insights and emotion, which is a vibration, a frequency, right? That tries to call that in for us. And then our ego and mind gets involved. Like, well, that's going to happen because I'm going to make sure, right? I do X amount of calls this week. I'm going to make sure that I do that. And the point is, we do take action. But isn't it interesting for those of us who have achieved and brought in and attracted, over grinded the things in our world? Like we have zero idea how they actually ended up coming in. Like the actual intricacies, the detail, the little things we had to learn first, the people we had to become, the little struggles, the obstacles, and like all of those little things were necessary to bring us to the final outcome, the final vision. And there's beauty in just observing that. There's beauty in just witnessing that. There's beauty in just knowing that there's no possible way your mind can comprehend how good your life can get or how you're going to get to the thing that you said you want. And you just have to kind of go with the flow, knowing that every decision you make is the right one. Every action you take or don't take is the correct action. It's really, really, really cool to just let go and watch. It's neat. Just to finish with a little passage like we usually do today. This one is called Beneath False Hope. It has taken a lifetime to understand how easily I can secretly wish for things to change, and in my secrecy, prevent true change from happening. For example, I loved a friend for many years who was unable to listen or be kind or patient. And rather than feeling how much that actually hurt, I always hung in there, secretly believing that he would change and grow and one day emerge before my eyes as the friend I always believed he could be. Well, that didn't happen. I'm not saying that change is not possible, but more deeply, that true change, the kind that is self-initiated and lasting, has more chance of happening in a relationship that doesn't hide its shortcomings. As long as I could dream of my friend as I wanted him to be, it softened the true pain of how we were actually living. Without such truth, neither of us could grow. Not he, for having to face the effect of his self-centeredness, and not me, for having to risk saying what I needed. When have you stayed quiet? I know there's a few of you watching on the recording that have reached out to me in regards to friends and how, as we grow in our life, some of our friends might not be growing like we are. And it's painful, right? It's painful to have a lot of them try to pull you down because they're afraid of the growth and the expansion that they're seeing in you, knowing that you might leave them. And so instead of supporting you and uplifting you, they will say certain things, pull you back down, bring you back to old habits, old routines. And your brain loves that because it is familiar. It's easier sometimes to stay in that life than it is to move into your new one. In fact, it's always easier. But we do it anyway because we embrace discomfort to become free. Anyone here maybe not asked, felt like they didn't want to ask for what they actually needed in certain moments with family, friends? Oh, my people, I was hoping I didn't have to talk as much today, but I did anyway. So I appreciate you guys. 9:30, for those of you still with me, let's do a little drop in, start our week. Start with a deep breath in. Even with a little labored breathing for a couple of us who have colds, let's do another one. Yeah. Welcome back to December, the last month in our 12-month year, a month of possibility, a month of shifting and changing, a month of transition, a month of letting go of what no longer serves us as we move into this season of winter. Winter, where certain elements of nature move into deep hibernation, where certain elements of nature move internally and introspectively, looking into what did serve and what did not serve over the past 12 months. Having another glorious few weeks of this year of 9. This year, which has completed a deep cycle within our own lives, a deep cycle of learning so much more about who we are, of letting go of certain elements, of certain aspects of who we are, to embrace the new, to allow abundance to come in from all aspects and all forms of who we are, of all places within the whole universe, calling in all aspects, all sources, all over with ease and flow over hustle and grind. We move into that love. We move into compassion. We start to become aware of our actions and what we are doing that are from a basis of fear over a basis of love. We start to realize and now understand that fear is of the mind and we are the observer of the mind. We zoom out and get to see it from a new angle. We realize that fear is just the mind looking to keep us safe. And by recognizing that, acknowledging, appreciating, we then go into gratitude. We then move into full creation. What life do I want to create today? What person do I want to create today? What roles, labels, and identities do I want to pick up today? And what roles and labels do I want to put down? Every waking moment is a chance to turn everything around, to move into the complete, creative, abundant light being that you are. With that, we appreciate our relationships with our loved ones, but relationship with ourself above all. Looking deep inwards and embracing all of those pieces of us, including the ones that might be tough to look at or that haven't been paid attention to in many, many years. We call those elements of us back into our soul, into our energetic spirit. And by calling them back, we proclaim our identity to the universe. With love, with creation, with abundance, let's seal this energy, these emotions, with another deep breath in. And release. I love you all so incredibly much. Thank you so much for being with me today and for pouring in. And same bat channel, same bat place next week.